Welcome once again to the weekly Madison Challenge video blog. As you know, we try to bring all of the local health information to you so that you as a participant can learn and use this information toward a better understanding of your health and what to do. So this week we have a very proud sponsor the last couple of years. They're the reason why all of the students are able to participate in the challenge. Is none other representation from MAID in Madison. With us we have Catherine Levasseur, soon to be Barden. Going to be getting married in a couple weeks, so I want to welcome Catherine, and she's going to help us understand what MAID is all about. So welcome, Catherine. So what is the primary message of MAID, and in what ways are you trying to get that message across to the community?
The primary message of MAID is to be a true coalition of people that represent all aspects of the town. And they come together to build a healthy community. Okay. We try to prevent substance abuse, underage drinking, but really focus on building up the community to prevent these things from even happening.
Interesting. So is it a group of people, or is it?
MAID is truly a group of people. We have people that represent all different aspects of the community, from youth to faith-based community, parents, law enforcement, and they all come together to make sure that everyone feels supported, that messages are getting out there, and that we're taking it seriously. And so MAID, it's an acronym for something, right? So what does it mean? MAID actually stands for Madison Alcohol and Drug Education Coalition. Oh, interesting. Good, okay. So who is the primary target for this message? The primary target for a lot of our messages is parents. We definitely want to get to parents to teach them about assets, which are these different fundamental parts of becoming a healthy individual. The Search Institute, which is a group that we've worked with for years, has a survey that we do every 2 years for our students. And on that survey, they ask about 40 developmental assets. These are external and internal. They talk about how youth feel, how they feel valued by the community, what their involvement with school is, what their relationships are like with their parents and with their friends. And they have these 40 different things that they know are key to developing a healthy individual. So the more we get to parents about developing these 40 assets within their young people, we know that they're much less likely to use substances and engage in risky behaviors.
So do you offer training courses for parents?
We do. We have asset training courses for parents, as well as a series called Parent Toolboxes, where we teach different messages about talking to your kids about different issues, talking about what the law is around underage drinking. We're going to have a panel soon about the different developmental aspects that are affected by underage drinking, whether it's the brain or behavior, and also talk about kind of the warning signs to look out for as well.
In what ways can parents help to get this message across to the kids?
The biggest thing for parents to know is not only to talk to their own kids and encourage that dialogue. A lot of times parents say to us that it seems like they talk and their kids just kind of tune them out. We know that that's an overall message that a lot of people feel, but it's not necessarily the case. We know that sometimes it looks like your teenager is tuning you out, but that they're actually listening and they're getting those messages, and they really are the first line of defense for choosing not to use different substances. We also want parents to talk to each other and to have that open dialogue about what's going on in parties and what they're frustrated about, because chances are parents are going to be frustrated about the same things.
Who is behind MAID exactly? And how could you get involved? Is it a town? Is it funded by grants? Is it donations?
MAID is actually run through Madison Youth and Family Services, which we're very happy to be a part of, and we're actually funded right now by 2 grants, one federal and one state. And those grants help pay for all the different activities that we do around town. But we have the full coalition that works on different issues, and we're really lucky to have a full group of volunteers that work to help us get all the different events sponsored and taken care of in town.
Great. So there's passionate people behind this passionate message of spreading the word and being to help one another out. Sounds like a good coalition.
Absolutely. We have a great coalition of very passionate, supportive people, and we have all different walks of life, from the parents that really want to be involved to a fantastic youth group called LIFE, which stands for Living Intoxication Free Every Day. And it's our high school group that gets out there and spreads the message, not just within the school but within the community.
So it's more peer-to-peer, which is something that sounds pretty advanced.
Absolutely. It's not only peer-to-peer, but it's also youth to adult, which we really like, and we like having kids kind of lead those messages and talk to parents about what they're facing.
Can you speak about any evidence that's out there about how building up a person from the inside can actually lead them to a healthier lifestyle and try to avoid the use of alcohol and drugs?
It's interesting because with those 40 developmental assets that we track, we know that those kids are much less likely to use substances. On average, the national average for the number of assets that kids have is usually around 18. Here in Madison, our kids have 22, on an average of 22 assets per individual. And we know that, you know, the usage rates, not only usage rates with drugs and alcohol, but violence and other risky behaviors like driving while intoxicated just plummet. You're so much less likely to use those substances and engage in those behaviors if you have those assets. So the more that we can make the kids feel valued within the town, we know that they're less likely to engage in those behaviors, and it's a lot easier than standing up and just saying don't use.
Right.
Because we want to give them a chance where they don't want to use.
Right. Well, that's great. Sounds like MAID is what really has everybody, you know, has stepped up and really has shown that, you know, if we can develop these assets in kids, it just offers a large amount of hope.
Absolutely.
So, well, I want to thank you, and once again, thank you for MAID for making it possible for all of our students to get involved in the Madison Challenge. And
Absolutely.
Thanks once again.
It's a
So
pleasure.
Catherine,
Thank you.
would you be so kind as to share with our participants what their weekly extra credit points are?
Absolutely. If you go onto our website, and I believe onto your website, or visit the local library, you could find a list of the 40 developmental assets. So if you read through those 40 developmental assets, you get an extra 5 points.
Wonderful. It would be under the resource pages on MadisonChallenge.com, as well as the MAID site, which is a really cool site to go to. So thank you once again.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great.